With the conversation, just as we had done that before we took a short break. Right now, I want just to introduce Kabando also just to tell us some of the highlights of the political landscape that he has picked so far, looking at his party leader, DCP. By the way, have you made officially that you are a DCP person? We've never seen any hoopla and razzmatazz and celebration that Kabando is joining, DCP. Are you a member?
Thank you very much, Dibal and TV 47 for having us again. Glad to have the Nandi Hills member here, successor to my great friend Kitur. Next time in a holding room, I'm not gonna let Onyonka hear the views I have. Because whatever he has said,
you gave him a Mwakenya.
He has just got the carpet under my feet. I gave him my Mwakenya, but good, the son of my father, the son of Dr. Zachary Onyonka, can execute and articulate points that don't belong to him in a very beautiful way. So let me now go to my second point, because the first one has been delivered by my delegate. In the last 1 year or so, if we don't talk about just last week,
yes,
the theme of the country. What is the front banner for the country is about governance. Governance about politics within the legislatures. I've seen what has been happening in the National Assembly. The Speaker of the National Assembly is now a surrogate going from village to village in so-called empowerment programs on behalf of the executive, such a disaster. Then you go to the management of the security apparatus in Kenya. In a day, the executions, the extrajudicial killings, the wanton destruction of property by thugs, easily identifiable and clearly proxies of political forces, and they're protected by the same security that we have bestowed upon responsibility constitutionally to offer services of protection and safety of Kenyans and their properties. We have seen the kind of ethnic profiling that has been happening. And for the first time, beautifully so, Kenyans reject in a swift way ethnic prejudice that's being perpetrated by those in power in order to isolate a certain community and delegitimize the universal uprising of Gen Zs asking for accountability of governance. In the same time, we have seen desperate effort to revive or resurrect the despicable religious hypocrisies and hypotony, including today. Pastors being ferried from villages across this country to the house of the country, of the state house, Ikulu, being bribed with money, and we are meeting them when they are leaving state house, carrying 100,000 shillings each. Some bishops who are mobilizing being given even $1 million. We are witnessing this. We have also witnessed the kind of deceptions and immaturity emanating from leaders, from Wajir to Muranga, from Eldoret all the way to Kilifi, across the country. People who are elected and who are respectable, people who are mothers and fathers of Gen Zs and millennials, being paraded on platforms and being sexualized, objectified, humiliated, being told, turn this way, we see your back. Women talking about some epics of bedroom matters in front of their parents, in front of their siblings, in front of children, infants. We have never gone this low. And again, we have seen in this season, we have seen a rogue administration, erratic, eccentric regime, having a stray leader who is spraying so-called stray bullet to infants. In the last 24 hours, we have buried a 21-year-old, a 12-year-old, today in Mukoroini, a high school student from a school called St. John Dogori in Mukureni Township has been jailed for 3 months. The war of Ruto administration against the children of Kenya. Is it Chapaville massacre of 1960s? Chapaville in South Africa, where children were massacred. You have watched the Sarafina movie, you know, about the effort, the gallant courage and courteousness of people in Azania, South Africa, the Black Empowerment Movement by Steve Biko, and how he was tortured in police cells. You have seen Cry Freedom movie about Steve Biko in South Africa. It's just about the same in Kenya 2025. A young man, Albert Omodio Juang, being abducted as he is enjoying lunch with his mother all the way from Harambee and the 350 kilometers to Central Police Station, where in 1920s, 22, Haridhuku, that's why the road to KBC and University of Nairobi that borders Norfolk Hotel and the Central Police is called Haridhuku Road, where a woman called Muthoni Nyajeru challenged men to wear skirts so that women could wear trousers to go and rescue Haridhuku, the freedom fighter who was being harassed in Central Police Station. So, in a nutshell, in this country, there is darkness. But we should be very, very concerned about the courage sustained in the face of bullets, in the face of extrajudicial killings, in the face of abductions, in the face of tortures.
Yes.
And it is time, I'm telling you, you know, last week a school was closed in Nyeri called Giakanja Boys High School, a few kilometers from Nyeri town in Teto constituency, because a student shouted to the head teacher, the principal, one time. You know what is happening? When then you hear the president saying, we have parented badly. Allow me to say this. We have parented badly. And these are children who enjoyed Kebake's free primary education. These are the children of IT, information technology. These are the children of internet. They are connecting with what was happening in Bangladesh, what happened in Tunisia, and the rest of the world. They have e-books. They don't have to prescribe to certain physical libraries. Information flow is going free. We should be worried about the trajectory the country is taking. To the extent, yesterday I heard the grandmother to Julia Joki, the girl who was tortured after being shot in Nanyuki. I had that grandmother talk. Today, I had Bridget, parents and grandparents and friends talking. Last week again, the viral video was going of a middle-aged man speaking in Muranga, crying about his neighbor, Boniface Karaoke Mwangi, the mask vendor who was shot in CBD in full view and glare of local and international cameras. Today, the most unpopular picture in this continent, not just in Kenya, maybe in the world, because BBC has written about it, Reuters have written about it, we have seen the stories in CNN, the Ruakina Larry Mado and all that. Today, the portrait of William Ruto in classrooms, in staff rooms, in offices, in private businesses is causing trauma. People are looking at him and they are being traumatized. In fact, I'm making a suggestion as I exit. It is time that we had, you know, our preamble in the Constitution of Kenya says, acknowledging the supremacy of God, honoring those who heroically fought for our independence, proud of our ethnic and cultural diversities, respectful of our environment. We are in Karura Forest here in this studio, and committed to protecting our country, recognizing the aspiration of all Kenyans for prosperity and peace and cohesion, exercising our sovereign power and authority, inalienable right to determine our destiny. And finally, we are adapting and we are enacting this constitution to ourselves and to posterity. The preamble of the Kenya Constitution should be put in frames, should be framed and they put in all public places.
Thank you.
Instead of the face of trauma and murder and theft and looting and sadism.
I don't know where you're coming from with that face of trauma. This is your own opinion as well. But let me just rope in Bernard Kitur as well, just to tell us his highlights as well. You concur with what
Thank you very much, Dibal.
It's been given here, yes.
Good evening, viewers, and welcome for this fantastic program where we exchange our views, our different dimensions, how we look at things in the recent past. First of all, as of today, I'm very excited on the ongoings, like for instance, when I saw the Chan that is going to take place from 3rd or 2nd of August all the way to 30th. And to note that we have Kasarani Stadium that for over 37 years has never been renovated to the level that it is right now. And not only that, we have with 2 stadiums inside there. We have Utalii College. There is an internationally, refurbished stadium there. Nyayo Stadium today was handed over, right? We have Ulinzi, we have the police stadium, and we have stadiums across the country, of course, ongoing. But I'm talking about these 2 major ones. There's also even the Talanta one in Ngong Road, 60,000 seater. This is amazing discussions that we need to have as a nation. Kasarani, 60,000 seater. And I would be encouraging Kenyans that as young people, let's come and now bring out our talents. I was looking at the other countries, the East African countries. There's none that matches Kenya. At least it's also some of the work that has been done by the Kenya Kwanza government, the government of President William Ruto. Of course, something else also that captured my attention this week was the Nairobi Rivers Regeneration Program. Why am I talking about this? I want to also talk of the good things that nobody would ever imagine they would happen in our country. Nairobi River, you know how terrible it was, but look at the stories that are happening in that space. It is going to be one of the fantastic places, part of the things that are happening around our environment. When you hear that in the next few years, actually expect that some of those places are the places we'll even be having fish, right? Fantastic, programs that are being done. I don't want to talk about the SHA and those other kind of things. I'm just talking about the simple ones that are just within, that are changing and shaping our world. Now, when it comes to the political aspect, I had someone here, my colleague, he was talking about some of these empowerment programs that we've been attending. I have been part of them. We've been going right, across the country, supporting our own friends in some of the programs. Because if I have a program in my constituency and I invite you, like I'm doing an empowerment program, what is so wrong if I invite my friends, including the Speaker of the National Assembly or Deputy President? Is there anything wrong? Did the Harambee just start yesterday? This has been there all time, long time ago. That has also happened in my constituency, and it has changed the lives of the people. I know you would say that there are other programs that need to be done, but if I find that as one of the ways that we keep even selling the programs of government, talking about the simple things like SHA that people need to register, other programs that government is doing, we get the opportunity now to engage the locals and tell them some of the things government is doing. So this is some of the things that we've been doing when we be going around the country. Now, of course, there are some of those sad events that have happened, the Saba Mandamanus, that at some point blow our minds as well. When we see, trying to really objectively understand what are the motives of some of these Mandamanus that goes into destruction of properties of people, which pains. And along the course, we have the statistics. By the way, I was told over 635 police officers in this country were injured. Right? I know we keep talking about the other bit, the emotional bit that we begin creating, that this happened. And most of these officers, by the time they were being injured, they also had, the arms and everything that they are supposed to use. But most of them were restraining themselves not to use this. So that when we want to create now emotions of people, which I really feel so bad when I see parents crying because they've lost their loved ones. When I hear even the story of Juliet Njoki, that my colleague here is trying to create emotions around it. But when you hear also, when autopsy is being done, there was nothing that, that seems to put like this girl was tortured, somewhat. But people want to create emotions. There was a big problem in Anyuki over the same, only to realize later, indeed, those are just imaginary creations of people. But I want to say that it was quite sad what happened, the destruction of property, the wanton destruction of property, the pain I saw business people who employ in excess of 200, 500 people having to lose, which means then that there are so many families, young people, who don't have jobs right now on account of the same. So it brings also an aspect that we are trying to say as a country, can we have a discussion? If there are problems, can we talk about them? Do we need to go destroy people's property? So that when police, and then we gag the police officers. Why would you want to destroy this country? Because when you gag the police officers, they are not able to act. I have told you, over 635 police officers, some of them were gravely harmed. That's what I'm talking about. So basically, some of those things that happened along the course of the period that we've been away that were not quite good. And I still say that I do not support any Kenyan being harmed, but at the same time, we need to also, being killed on excess force, all right? But at the same time, what I'm saying is we also need to give a fair, assessment on the kind of force that needs to be used. So basically, I think the country is still on the right trajectory. And being a Christian, and a born again for that matter, by the way, there is nothing wrong when pastors across the country pay a visit to the leadership of the nation. I have several who pay me a visit back home. It is very important sometimes to hear from them. They are the grounds people. They can sometimes share with you something. They can pray for you. They can discuss with you matters on how to run the nation. So I don't see anything wrong when servants of the Most High God in this nation find their way to have an engagement with the president of the country. So I still say that was good. We should encourage such kind of conversations.
I wanted just to ask, because the issue, when you talk about churchy matters as well, we've seen from the beginning how religion has been weaponized to whip up emotions of the laity and the nation. And of course, that was used categorically even to ascend to power. The church was part and parcel of what really brought President William Ruto to power as it stands right now.
Correction
now everyone,
just a moment.
On law. Correction on law.
Correction on law.
I want to correct the member of parliament on public collections and the Harambees. And I'm sure he has read the constitution very well because there's a first edict. If you read clearly chapter 6 of the constitution on leadership integrity, you'll see prohibitions and even aspirations to restrict abuse of office, including on matters that sometimes are deemed to be for the people because they are likely to transgress. If you have also read the Public Officers Act.
Be very specific.
Yes.
Because I'm looking at that act.
There's ambiguity on that particular bit.
Yeah.
So
Okay,
it's not expressly Harambee. Can I just get Richard, then we come to you?
You see now,
yes.
You see now, I'm just giving him information, not to contradict. That information seem what it is. And I was saying, chapter 6, I said it gives aspirations, but there's enabling registration. The Constitution is create, for instance, in chapter 4, we'll talk about Bill of Rights. But there are other institutions, including National Commission on Human Rights, in order to enable that.
We'll come to that.
So there is a specific law. It is called Public Officers Ethics Act. And it clearly, explicit.
Right, thank you.
Prohibit. This forum is also to educate people as much as it is to reiterate the facts. He's a member of parliament. He's a senator. I'm drawing from my archives. That in the Public Officer Ethics Act, it says explicitly that public state officers shall not engage in matters of solicitations or finances or funds in Harambees or other matters. And that's why the longest member of parliament you have ever had in independent Kenya, Mwai Kibaki, once that law that was passed, he did not, even as a president, hold a single Harambee, but we remember him for delivery. There is an abuse of the law.
Thank you. Let me just give it to Richard, then we'll come to you. We go sequentially.
Yes.
I remember also, during Kibaki regimes, we had this issue of Harambee. And by then, I think it was the Assistant Minister of Interior, Ojode, who was steamrolling that, the public servants also should not be participating in Harambees, with still the Public Ethics Act as well.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
Deval, my observation of what is happening in our country, or what has been happening generally, is that I sit here and look and listen to, for example, what my brother is saying in terms of performance. What I would like my brother to understand, and the people who are in government, is this. My brother, talk about those stadiums. In fact, you could have done a skyscraper which is 260 feet to the sky. But so long as you keep killing children around here, those things mean nothing to the Kenyan people. It doesn't matter. Hear me out. You could give every Kenyan a kilo of gold. But if the country does not believe in justice, fairness, equity, and make sure that we have a country that is cohesive, that is understanding, that is being managed with integrity and credibility. You see my brothers here, he's talking about that, now we finished Kasarani. My job, I will tell you as a senator, I want to know how much they spent. I can tell you, the thing that is being built on Gong Road that you are praising, which is supposed to be what? How much was it initially supposed to cost?
Has it been done?
How much was it initially meant to cost?
You know, this back and forth conversation.
No. You see, when you say something, we must distinguish it whether it is propaganda or truth. And in this case, I'm saying that stadium was supposed to have been built by 1.6 billion shillings. Right now, we're at 7B. Tell me about that variation. Under the law, we're supposed to vary that at 20%. Now, number two, it's not finished. You can go to all the stadium is talking about. You see, the issue with the KK government is, my brother, we say, tell us how much you are spending our money on and how you are spending it. You saw the other day what the Auditor General said. For 3 years, capitation money, 179 billion, can't be traced.
Going to Goscos.
Yes. So what we are saying, come here and praise the government, but please understand, some of us know more. Understand it better than maybe you do. That we are not saying that I listen to these arguments back and forth. People say, it's because you hate William Ruto. We've said here so many, Kabando, we had so much hope with William. He has served 5 presidents. How can he make these mistakes? What is it? There is no single month that state money is not being stolen. Now it's becoming a normalcy where we take children and we are killing them. And it's normalized. And we are sitting here, we're talking about, we are doing wonderful. There's nothing wonderful you can do if there's no peace, justice, and fairness. We were supposed to have taken the children who've been killed and given them even a decent burial. We must talk about restitutive justice. These kids who have died, what have we done about them? Then you are assuming that our life is just going to move normally. We'll continue forgiving each other. We are destroying this country. Yes, we want to talk. Yes, we want to forgive each other. But first of all, when members of parliament want to legitimize and legalize CDF, they get 2/3 majority, they pass it on the floor of the House without a single dissent.
But the buck stops with you as a Senate as well.
Yeah. And yet in reality, it has stopped at the Senate. We have said that thing is not passing. Because it's a con. What we are saying is very simple. If you want to talk to us, don't come and start asking 40 people from which village. Go to parliament and get these guys, Buana. Stop stealing money, tighten the corruption. Make sure you stop killing our children, give them restitution justice, compensation, increase the money, and make sure everything is done. Sit and tell us whether you are unable to manage our finances. Why? Money is not going to schools. The teachers are frustrated. We have CBC. Nobody knows what it stands for. Nobody knows whether we've left 844 and moved to where.
Right,
so we are saying these are people who claim to be educated. These are people who are supposed to manage government. If the government was running comfortably, why would I be sitting here talking about how the government is not doing anything?
Right, but see, I think from the point he's coming from is that we have to take the smooth with the rough as well.
Just by Dibal. Take what?
Dibal. Smooth with the rough.
With which one? But everything has been rough for 3 years.
Let me also have a right to reply.
They have borrowed 2 trillion.
Can I give him a right to reply? Then I come to
you. In some of these conversations, and I would like to encourage my senior senator to please come down on some of these discussions. It doesn't mean that you have to shout the loudest for us to be able to have this discussion. But let me say this, Debal. The conversation was within the recent period, what has been the happenings, the good things that have been happening. You've seen what I'm talking about is what was in the news today, right? The figures that he's throwing about.
Fake news.
Talk about the fake news, it's up to you. What I'm talking about is today, Kasarani was actually being handed over. Actually, no, it's Nyayo Stadium. Nyayo Stadium was being handed over. Kasarani is being handed over. Those are the things that the Office of the Auditor General will be able to handle. And
Why can't you just announce?
You cannot come here and throw figures the way you want.
Because
who can validate the figures he's talking about?
No,
so let's not use emotions as a way of trying to
tell us how
stop
much
this conversation.
our money is being used.
That is the work of the Auditor General, and there's a process that will be done.
But
there is a way
Honorable
it should be
Onyonka,
done,
just
and
a
it will
moment.
come to Parliament.
Just a
That is
moment.
the job
Yeah,
of the legislator. You should know.
Point of order.
But no, just a moment. But if we have figures that are being thrown as well, it will be nice also to have confirmable facts that you have, you table it and say, okay, this was 1.2 billion shillings of the
I
Talanta
told you,
Academy until 7
used
billion
the
and it's still
example of what
ongoing.
is that being done on Gong Road. The money has moved from 1.6 billion, which was 3 years ago. It is now at 9 billion. I can even go further and tell you who's doing that stadium, how the money has been shared.
Okay.
That's what
Can you finish so that we can have a Kabando? Yes, please.
There are good things that the government is doing. You may want to say what you want to say, but those are facts. You can see them. I was not talking about the figures. I was saying the stadium is now done. It is historic. After 37 years, we now have an international stadium on the level of Kasarani. You can see how it has been done. We have 2 fields inside there that have been made. You can keep laughing. It's the truth. Those are the facts. And I was just encouraging that we now are going to be having the CHAN, that I wanted to encourage all young Kenyans and Kenyans to be able to come and support, even as we are now being also considered for the AFCON. We are expecting between 200,000 to 300,000 visitors in our country. What is that going to mean in terms of the economy of our country? And many other things. What you're talking about is the recent time. You said of the recent time, what are some of those things that have been happening?
You did. Okay.
And some of the conversation I also wanted to bring across before he interrupted also was the 7 shilling securitization, that I thought it was also something that is quite interesting to talk about on matters economy and unlocking the road programs that are being done in our country.
We will come to that securitization, of course,
fine.
and that particular blip that has been there. Everyone is really questioning, looking at other regimes.
And the very sensitive, sensitive matter that the sensitive matter that we cannot let it go on the issue of children, that is saying that the government is killing children. That is far from the truth.
Okay.
It is far from the truth. So there is no government that will want to kill its own people.
Okay.
But I'm inclined to wonder as well, if we have the Kenya National Human Rights Commission giving the figures, as it were, that we had around 140.
What were the circumstances?
We've heard from the Ministry of Interior that it stands at 40. So why are we banding numbers, and yet it is the same commission that is churning out these numbers as well?
That is what we want to know, because probably the other one is
the same
civil society. You would expect that.
It's a constitutional body as well. So yeah. I thought there could be concurrence between the Interior and what Kenya National Human Rights Commission.
That is now something that probably it should come through Parliament. We bring both of those parties, because Parliament is one of the only institutions that can call both of them. They can call the Ministry of Interior, they can call the Kenya Human Rights Commission and ask them, we want to understand, where did you get the figures, where did you get the figures? They can be able to deduce that and then come up with the facts therein. But what I just wanted to say is that the Kenya Kwanza government is not in any way, and the president has been categorical all that time through. It's only the noises that come out there with the belief that this is a government that kills people. No, it's a government that wants people to succeed. And that's what I was talking about and talked about the last 2-3 weeks, what has been happening.
So what do you say about the pronouncement of a shoot to
Can you come here?
Yeah, if it's the government that
you are
really
giving
wants
Kenya
to protect
Kwanza
people, right?
to justify.
Yeah, just a moment. Yeah, what would you actually say about that?
The context.
What you're talking.
The context.
What you're actually saying.
Look at the context of the entire conversation. All right? There has been, as I mentioned to you, so many police officers, 635, actually, not to mention those who lost their life,
yes,
were injured. I got this in facts today before I came here from the IG, right? And nobody talks about them. These are facts.
And those figures
right?
are questionable. Those figures are questionable.
Yes.
As much as
now,
our police.
You may want to question because I have told you these are the figures that have come from the police.
But not from the Kenyan Human Rights Commission.
Mr. Dibal.
Or IPOA.
All right.
That is why I'm
Yeah, so don't go that
even if it comes from IPOA, it has to come from the police as well.
Don't go that route.
STARTIMES.
When you're talking about IPOA, you're talking about National Human Rights,
Yeah.
the source will be
You
where?
can't give me the police numbers and don't give me what IPOA is
Mr.
saying.
Dibal.
Let's hear from
There is a
Kabando,
reason.
Kabando.
There is a reason why I'm geographically located in Amindo. On my right is a young member of parliament from Nandi Hills, who reminds me of my great friend and patriot Alfred Kitur, and I miss him dearly. Who, even within the Jubilee administration, was bold enough to call the government of Uhuru Kenyatta and William Ruto to order face to face, even in rallies in Nandi Hills. He would start and tell the president, this question of this project and that project is wrong. I will not praise myself, but people remember during the scandal of NYS and the scandal of Garana Kulalu and their gloricing, how some of us stood at the front and called even press conferences and spoke in these studios and mobilized members of parliament and put petitions and articles in the media, despite the fact that Uhuru was my party leader, is from my ethnic community, and a few kilometers from my homestead to Ishaweri. You know, it is important that even when you are in a party where the chieftain is of your ethnic fiefdom, you break ranks. That's how Shelagat Mutai broke ranks with Daniel Moi. That is how Maki Mwedaga JM Karaoke broke ranks with Jomo Kenyatta. Because when the member of parliament comes, and I hope they are not going to interrupt because I have not interrupted, when he comes and says that before he came to the studio, he spoke to the Inspector General of Police, that can tell you a dangerous thing. That is how surrogacy and sycophancy is built, where there is no separation between the executive and the legislature. All right? That before you came to
facts.
You don't have to rebut everything. That before you came to the studio of TV 47 to speak. Like now, I spent a lot of messages before coming here. I even put these things on my social media accounts, and he has also done that I've seen. So that you generate opinions from the citizenry, other people. But you are calling the Inspector General of Police to give you facts about police killings of innocent people. Let me go on.
No. I didn't say innocent people. So don't misquote me.
Excuse, it's me who is speaking.
Yeah, don't
now.
misquote.
Okay.
Don't misquote me. If you didn't hear it, clarify.
My friend, if you want to intervene, you can intervene, then I can continue because I don't want to exhibit. Go on.
I wish to intervene.
Okay.
It was wrong for him to say that the information that I got was about the people who were killed. I said the police officers who were harmed, and some of them are even, most of them are in hospitals.
Okay.
So I think that clarity is very important.
So let me proceed. Let me
And
finish.
secondly,
Just wait.
No, I have to finish.
And secondly,
I have to finish.
Point of information.
No.
Point of information.
Okay, information agreed.
Just as we are sitting here, what his responsibility is a member of parliament who is supposed to be taking care of the interests of the Kenyan public under legislation, oversight, and
Representation.
now he is going to check on police who have been injured for the executive, and yet he should be telling us here today that the number of people who've been killed sincerely that I know, even from that IG himself, is this number. The number of police officers that have been killed are this, and the number of people that...
Wait.
But let's be a second so that we go sequentially.
Can I proceed?
Proceed.
Can I proceed?
Kabando just finish. Then we shall get a rejoinder.
Yes.
Please. And then we give it
Under the ball, you know, we need to cover a larger space, eh?
Yes.
So
Yes.
once you have said something and you have been corrected, you don't have to go back to it. Otherwise, we are going a merry-go-round.
Right.
Onyonka has sanctity said, and aptly so, spot on, that when you are a legislator, you should be calling to ask about a Joki, about a Nyango, about a Juang, about Fatuma, even as you also call for information about the police because they are also citizens. But you are talking about them as much as they deserve that, without talking about the other people who are civilian, who have no institution, like National Police Service, who have you as a member of parliament to represent. I want to say that the danger we have in this country is about the failure of the legislature. There is no time in the recent past that I remember where Parliament, National Assembly, I will excuse Senate, National Assembly has been captured 100%. People who are elected on Azimio ticket, either on Jubilee or on ODM, you have seen these calls that are being called, and I know we have not come to that topic. We have merger that time. People went to government and got ministries. Then we had the cooperation project. Then we had some other grand coalition, of course, Nusu Mukate. Then we had the BBI. Parliament was taken. People were removed from committees of finance or budgeting so that people could be put from the opposition. Recently, we had an article. Again, the same was arranged. Around that time, we had a subterranean covert, below the table, deals to bring some project for AU. And as we speak today, it should be concerning members of parliament that the Attorney General, who is a product of the so-called broad-based government, based but is blood-based government,
goes and kneels down,
goes to court to block a petition in the High Court that is supposed to disclose the amount of money, the billions, that was allocated to the Raila campaign to go to AU. The Attorney General, who is supposed to actually to be Sharia house, is a house of law. And that's why the Attorney General occupies a special seat in the cabinet. It talks about the president and the deputy as members of the cabinet, Attorney General, and not more than 22 other people to constitute the cabinet. Attorney General hijacked and goes to court to fight against the people. Disclosure. So, and when the controller of budget, Nyakango, goes and says that this money that is meant for education have been diverted, and those are disclosures, she is threatened even with removal.
Yeah.
I want to say that it is very important.
Even the worst case.
As we seek political hygiene,
General also has
we need
with good bills.
Yes,
like the public participation bill that now she's steamrolling.
Let me say this.
And the anti-corruption amendment bill, which
let me tell you, we don't need
people who are arraigned and are not actually, given sentences on corruption issues. Now that can be done within 6 months.
The BAL, we don't need any bill for you to be sensible and logical. We don't need a law for you to do good. Mwai Kibaki brought free primary education. He did not change any law. Mwai Kibaki removed Kenya economy from minus 4% growth. It was going down to the pit to plus 7% without changing any law. In fact, the Constitution of Kenya 2010, it is called 2010 because it came in 2010 August. Mwai Kibaki by that time was already on his 8th year, and things were going up. The universities did not change any law when Kibaki appointed chancellors from eminent persons so that universities could be autonomous, stable. And Mwai Kibaki removed himself from being a chancellor of universities. I don't know when to Masida Moliro during that. Let me just exit on this point by having a little disagreement with my eminent elder brother.
That's good. That's good.
Mr. Onyonka. You know, when you say that people had a lot of hope and expectation on William Ruto, it is true there was a lot of hypothony, and people were very fantasized. They were mesmerized. They were seduced with the so-called hustler nation. People were mobilized. My own neighbors, Gechagi, some would pass me without greeting me. My immediate neighbors. Because I was saying, being on the right side, I was like going against God. We hear people even in this studio saying, oh, I'm a born again. Go tell your God how you are born again.
Wait.
You know, about your religion, Kenya is not a theocracy. Keep your religion to your house, to your church, and let the Kenyan people. Because Kenya is a non-partisan in matters theology. And it is in the Constitution. Yet we say in the preamble, we recognize Almighty God because that's universal. But when it comes to governance, you leave. So I want to say that the people who are fantasized, who are seduced and mesmerized by the lies, by the hypothony, by the fanaticism of William Ruto are shedding tears 24 hours. I can tell you, and I want you to look at me in the eye, our moderator, our host, that for those of us who knew Ruto, even as I sat with him for 3 lengthy hours, 2 times with my friend Kimani Ichung'wah, and another time with another person who is one of the most powerful people within the administration today. And even as I sat for 4 meetings with Rigathi Gachagua from my home county of Nyeri, and they declined to take the UDA ticket. For those of us who know him, like Cyrus Jirongo was the chairman of YK92. He has told us, it is on video, you can search it, how Ruto supplied 1,000 t-shirts for KANU by recycling, and he was paid for 10,000. Cyrus Jirongo, no, don't cut me, don't cut me. Cyrus Jirongo Dibal has said, he has witnessed in public, in Kakamega, and Ruto has never charged him. He has never even gone to court for seeking defamation.
Dibal, you cannot allow things that
no. Be able to now, Cyrus Jirongo has said in TV, he has said on TV,
he's not here.
No, he's not here, but I'm
not here. So
I'm the one who is repeating. No. And he said on TV, in a station like this one,
we'll give him
that he has witnessed William Ruto struggling a young man in Kakamega to death. For us who know Ruto, there is no politician in Kenya who has had the highest number of corruption cases in a court than William Ruto. William Ruto was a mistake. Okay. No, he is fidgeting. William Ruto, you cannot censor. I cannot be censored. I cannot be censored.
No.
William Ruto has been a mistake in the Republic of Kenya ab initio. Whether the MP from his area says so, William Ruto was a mistake from the beginning ab initio, and we are telling Kenyans the mobilization that is needed today is to terminate the leadership of William Ruto so that he can go to political oblivion. Ruto must go.
Just a moment. I will appreciate also when you utter these things that we don't have any confirmable facts. You know, these are things also in social media.
They are here.
You know, yes.
They are on video.
The fact that he said is not actually the
You don't have to correct me.
No.
You don't correct me.
Well, I want to do a rebuttal.
You are supposed to host, not to correct me. Jirongo was
but
not
you cannot
correct.
make allegations against persons who are not here.
I cannot just let you. Just a moment. I cannot just let you.
Yes.
Because it will be also reductive of you if you really come and say.
Tell Ruto to go to court.
Yes, and you have all these
kind of
these issues on social media. He is not really challenging.
He is trying to.
So we do not know whether it's the truth from, and that
it is me who has said it.
That is coming from Cyrus Jirongo, right? So I will not also allow you to be on the podium.
Then I don't need to come to this
studio.
Thank
you very much.
No.
If you are going to censor me or suffocate me, then I don't need to come here.
Of course, we have to have decorum.
No. You cannot call killing decorum. You cannot call murder decorum. You cannot call theft and corruption decorum. I better never come to a studio where I'm going to be denied the volume and the space to state historic facts.
I'm not really.
Ruto is a thief.
I'm just saying.
And he's patronizing murder of children.
All right.
It is not true.
And his best friends are thieves and looters.
This is not true.
Okay. Ruto is a mistake and a curse.
Hold your horses. Hold your horses.
Right.
Yeah. Let's
don't correct me.
No. I think we should not just be very reductive also in our pronouncement.
Ruto is a merchant of impunity.
Yeah, because we don't want to have a podium of name calling.
Correct.
No. A thief is a thief. A thief. A mandarin is a mandarin.
Could we? Okay.
If we are defending Ruto here,
we're not defending Ruto.
Then let me say what I can say as a Kabando.
All right.
That is my volume.
You've given him enough time. Can we also have an opportunity to...
If you block me here...
You can slake your thirst a bit, so we'll come back to you.
Correct.
Yeah, can you have a rejoinder, then we hear from Richard Onyonka.
Thank you. Thank you very much.
He's alone.
No, thank you. No,
it was him.
It's me.
No. It's me.
It's like he is Ruto. He is not Ruto.
No, wait.
He is not Ruto.
No, let's do this.
We refuse this kind of moderation.
Let's agree, Dibal.
Okay.
Let's agree.
Okay.
Let me hand over back to you.
Thank you.
Then I'll pick.
That is being very kind. And,
don't allow him to urinate on an arena that is clean.
No, don't use those kinds of statements.
No.
Let's observe also our language.
Allow Onyonka to speak.
People
and I sincerely appreciate my elders here. Kindly come down. And I want to thank you, Senator Onyonka. I think you've demonstrated a lot of some bit of great mentorship. I just wanted to first of all, make 2, 3, 4 comments. First, the aspect of my religion or my belief system must not be judged by anyone.
True.
I am, as I've stated before, I'm a Christian, I'm born again. That is the position that I hold, just as I respect any other individual. So I would not have wished anybody to be able to use that to my line. Secondly, is it is common news, and I think the Cabinet Secretary for Interior and even Kenya National Human Rights Commission had been able to float the statistics of those that we lost and those who were injured Kenyans who unfortunately, suffered greatly in the recent demonstrations. One of the things that we didn't know, and the reason why I mentioned today, was the issue of the other side of the coin, the police officers who were involved. And the reason why I brought that conversation, and the reason why we are looking for these statistics from every corner we could be able to get, is also to understand the other side of it. We cannot be able to just talk about, we are all Kenyans. Whether you're talking of the police officers, whether we're talking of Kenyans, we are all one. And as a leader, it behoves me to be able to know both sides. Thirdly is the aspect that had been spoken. I had, we've always mentioned the good things Kibaki did. I do agree, and I salute that old man posthumously. But also, let's look at it from the government of William Ruto. There are so many statistics that demonstrate, if you want to talk about the economy, we've done extremely well. Basic things. Let's talk. IMF did say the other day that we are number 8 as the largest economy in Africa. We have moved 2 paces ahead. We are now number 6. It's fact. 2, the inflation was 9.6% in 2022. Right now we are talking of 3.7, 3.8. It's fact. You cannot be able to diffuse that. At some point, when you're talking about the exchange rate in our country, though it does not necessarily talk about the general economy of the country, but we were doing 160. Right now we are doing at 130. We have over 4 months cover that recently was announced by Treasury in terms of the import cover. So it tells you there is so much that is happening. Talk about agriculture, talk about all these sectors, talk about even the SHA that used to be a lot of noise in the past. Right now the noise has gone down because there's a lot of changes that are happening. When you're talking about the health sector, when you're talking about agricultural sector, in every part of this country, something positive is happening. It is fact. These are the statistics cannot be. You cannot say anything about it. So I wanted to say, I'm still continuing. Now, let me come to the key one that I think I wanted to also appeal to my senior, whom I've now had a great respect for, and I like the way he knows how to mentor and correct persons, the Senator Onyonka, the issue of CDF. It is common knowledge to all Kenyans that indeed the CDF has had a real impact back in the villages. Just as the Kera roads have also had a great impact. So when we came the other day and we said we would wish to have this in the Constitution, I know he would have a different view because they say these are devolved funds, but what they are saying is this is a fund. It has always been challenged on account of it just being the act of parliament. So we wanted to entrench it in the Constitution. And we are appealing to the senators and tell them, kindly consider this as well. Because you and I'm glad he's been a member of parliament, by the way, with a fantastic track record. And therefore, and part of the programs that he did, fantastic, so well. And I checked actually before I came here, was actually the use of CDF. So he cannot purport today.
Thank you.
It's already been pronounced unconstitutional by the courts.
Me.
Yes?
That is why we want to have it.
You put a now for the senators as an oversight fund.
Dibal, can you please give me a second?
Sure, please.
Why are you frustrating me?
Am I frustrated?
He was praising me. Nobody ever praises me.
I'm not praising, I'm just saying the facts.
Dibal, please praise me. Let me be praised.
It so happened so once, because I had to take time to know also some of the persons who are going to appear before us. Proceed. And so I wanted to mention that, so you had mentioned that what are some of those things that have happened in the recent past? Yes, we had over 300 members of parliament coming back from the recess to come and to have a debate over this bill, and it was passed.
Because it interests you.
In the sense,
because it is critical for because they're saying this is political patronage that you're using with the CDF.
So can I come in?
Right. And before, the Senate has been seeking almost 5 billion shillings as an oversight fund before. You've been actually slapping that. But this time forth, because you have an interest with the CDF, then they have a sweetener that they
You don't interrupt him.
The senator
Dibal,
you don't interrupt him.
I've interrupted him.
But me, you interrupt.
No, you are given enough time.
Don't take offense. Don't take offense.
Dibal, let me say this. Yes. I want Mheshimiwa to really get what I was saying. Mheshimiwa, I'll tell you the truth. CDF as a fund has done better than any other fund in the Republic of Kenya. That I'm a witness to. I have participated at one time as one of the, like you've said, one of the best performing CDF members of parliament. And that, I understand that. But you see, what we are trying to tell you, members of parliament, and we persuade you with a lot of humility, We are not saying we don't like CDF. We want CDF to be within the law. Let me tell you why we have a problem with CDF. And this is not because we have a different interest, like I see as being criticized, Dibal. What we are saying, by you directly allocating money to the CDF kitty, you are creating two financial centers within the county governments. One is the one of the governor. The second one is now going to be the one for the member of parliament. And the one at the top is from the executive. Basically, what you're doing is you are removing the carpet out of the member of parliament by rewarding them, which changes the structure of our governance system. If the president wanted, because this system we have now, the budget is instituted, no longer from the treasury. It is now instituted from the office of the president. The treasury implements what the president wants. If the president wants to add money for CDF, the MPs then have to now agree to do what the presidency wants. That's our point. Now we are saying, come sit with us, we see how we separate this. The second argument they make, Dibal, is this. Huwezi kuchaguliwa kama una pesa. President ana pesa yake, ana handle at the national level. Governor ana pesa yake, ana handle at the county level. Now women rep has been given her money at the county level. Now members of parliament want their money also, and we are saying, I am elected with 9 constituencies. And the total amount of money you give me for oversight is 2.2 million shillings a year. Divide by 9 constituencies. I've got 11 workers in my office who are supposed to be paid and all that. What we are telling you is this: either that money is shared all the way down to the down there, or Dibal, we are saying the Constitution of Kenya says it very clearly. Legislation, oversight, and what?
Representation.
And representation. Get out of handling the money. The Constitution envisaged that money will be at the head, which is being managed by the executive, which is the presidency. The second amount of money is being handled by the county government. Even the women rep should not touch any money. She should oversight projects which are under her purview through the county government. That money can come to the county. The governor doesn't have to touch it, just the way we have removed money from the speaker. Governors are no longer going to touch their money. So why do you find it difficult to receive money under the county government so that, let me tell you what is happening, Dibal. Why we are, like me, I will never agree with CDF being there. Why? This gentleman does roads. Okay?
What do you mean I do roads?
Okay, Kera does roads in his constituency,
Correct.
right?
Yes, that's better.
Number 2, the governor does the same roads. All right, we were supposed to have done listing of these roads. Why? Who is supposed to do the listing? Members of parliament. They can't list them. Why? So you find one road being done by the governor, you find the second one, the same road is being done by the MP. Why? Only one level of government did those roads. The rest of the money is duplication and abuse of public resources. Those are the issues we want to discuss. Not them discussing that I'm bitter, that we have not been given the money. No, we are breaking this very same system. That is why the Supreme Court ruled that this existence of CDF affects the very structure of our governance system. Number 2.
But why is it very providential that right now it's become an issue? Is it the amount of money?
It is the amount of money, right? Oh, let me answer you. Let me answer you.
Yeah, Senate,
Dibal,
he was seeking 5 billion shillings.
Dibal.
Now that it's actually now toned down to 1 billion, that's
Dibal. No, it's not. Let me tell you this. Right now, the fastest business you can do anywhere in this republic called Kenya is not to open a shop, is not to open a factory, is not to run a school. Now you just become an MP.
Oh, come on.
If you are receiving 300 million shillings a year times 5 years, that's 1.5 billion shillings a year.
When are you coming
you
here?
need to do anything else after that.
Thank you. Let's hear from
Mr. Dibal.
Yes, sir.
Mr. Dibal, I first want to make a clarification that even as I said, even as I had doubt about Ruto's presidency, I still met him and spent hours. In fact, for those 3 meetings in 2021, the shortest was about an hour and a half. And I was putting issues. And I also met his running mate before appointment for 4 meetings, including in private residences. In my life, I've never pursued ethnic prejudice, nor ever, God my witness, took a stone and threw to somebody, despite the fact that I was the president of the student union when we had the biggest demonstrations against ethnic clashes, against Goldenberg, and you can see all that is documented even in the headlines of newspapers, on issues even about welfare of students. And I have never prejudiced Ruto as a person. It is Ruto, the politician. And therefore, what this country needs now is honesty. I challenge anyone in this country who has any case of Kabando being involved in corruption to put it forward. And if I'm mentioned and that case is in public domain, I'll be ashamed. These are things we tell even our children about leadership integrity, about governance ethics. I want somebody to say when Kabando was a student leader, what he did. When I was a pioneer chairman of Nairobi Water Company, what did I do? When I was a minister with the Onyonka in the Grand Coalition government, did I engage myself in bad manners as a Minister of Youth Affairs and Sports? As a member of parliament from Ukraine for 10 years, did I dip my fingers in publicity in any way? In fact, in 2014, I was given an award for being the most progressive Wajiko legislator by Muzalendo.org, which is a leading oversight on parliament today. 2014. I want to say that the things I have mentioned are things that are documented in the judiciary, are things that have been uttered by individuals close to somebody, and that statement has not been challenged by a single person. So it cannot be challenged in the studio. It is not malice, it's not prejudiced. So people get fidgety. You can see, people get fidgety. We are not living in an ethnic fiefdom in Kenya. So I would say this. What we need in the country today, tell him to stop patting the table. What we need in this country, what we need, yes, we bully people with logic. We bully people with logic. We bully people with logic, rationality, and we are very unapologetic about the statements we make. So, what we need today is the accountability charter that our children, our youngsters have so much gallantly espoused. Accountability charter is about leadership ethics, integrity, accountability, bringing honor and respect to the office you hold. So if, Dibal, you have the singular infamy of having the highest number of corruption cases in the Republic of Kenya, and you have been a public officer, and those cases include mostly land grabbing, including during the post-election violence where Muteshi was displaced, where even a month ago, four police officers. Look, I'm talking as a Kenyan.
Let him finish.
I'm talking as a Kenyan. If you want to speak in vernacular, he can go to a vernacular station.
No, I don't like that kind of demeaning.
No.
Does he have to like?
You cannot demean me like that.
Just.
Okay, let me talk. Let me say.
Horrible.
I am not interfering with him.
Just a moment.
Yeah.
Okay.
I am like that.
Okay. No.
Yeah.
No.
Horrible Kabando. I think.
What I'm saying.
No. Just a moment.
Yes.
I think it is very reductive of you.
Yes.
Using very infelicitous remarks as well. Right?
Yes.
He's a horrible member of parliament.
Okay, Honour.
Elected. There are people who respect him.
So let me say. When you are physically,
we are here to have a very cogent discussion.
When you are physically tapping tables that are becoming fidgety, you don't allow somebody to speak. Somebody will be agitated that you have other motives rather than national conversation.
All right, just finish.
So calm down. Let me say this.
Just finish. We take a break.
The ethics you are talking. No, don't go to break because Kabando is talking.
No.
I am going to eject to the liver. Napiga isidano mpaka kwa liver.
Oh, we need to take a short break.
This is the fear we have.
11 o'clock on the
No. What you do? Close the conversation, or don't call me because. Today, the Gen Z, why he is terminating me in order for me to.
Can he finish?
It's okay.
Just let him finish.
Dibal. The regime has gone rogue. It has gone satanic. It is murderous and gluttonous to the extent that William Ruto epitomizes and exemplifies incorrigible merchant of impunity And the surrogates are working under him, sycophants, are so intolerant of this truth be said. And I say, and I tell you, and I'll say it even in my dream, the greatest tragedy and curse in this country is William Ruto.
All right. Even if we should take a short break, we take a short break because I want to just say first of all,
allow him to
wait, yes.
Thank you, sir.
What I'm saying is, as we take a short break, you know, also he has his own frailties, he has his own idiosyncrasies, his own weaknesses as well. But he's still the president of his country.
Now you are talking.
No.
Stop defending him. You're supposed to moderate.
No, I'm not. I'm saying.
That is a fact.
He is the president by accident, by a curse.
I'm just saying. There's an office of the president.
No. As a moderator, you must listen to your panelists and stop making judgment.
Okay, we need to take a short break.
Yeah, otherwise,
I'm just saying.
Otherwise, we are going to think that this session is a proxy of Ruto.
No, wait.
No, I'm saying I'm the one who has said it.
Yeah, but listen.
Yes.
If the children who are watching you,
yes,
and they hear
are happy.
No.
They are happy. They are inspired.
And they hear all these things tripping off your tongue about the
and they see if they watch.
If
they are watching you,
okay to call names to the
if they are watching you, try to storm me Dibal.
You might have an issue with the president, but also respect the president.
I don't respect him. I don't respect him.
I'm saying the office.
I don't. You go respect him.
I am saying the full.
I don't respect Ruto. I hate Ruto. I hate Ruto.
No.
I hate him.
What kind of...
I hate him for killing us.
We take that short.
I hate him. I hate him. I hate him.